Waking up every morning with a mountain of dreams in your mind, but feeling like your feet are stuck in quicksand. You know what you want, but somehow you can't seem to take the first step. Today, I'm sharing a story about breaking free from denial and analysis paralysis, because I've been there too. Let's talk about the simple steps that turned everything around for me and can do the same for you. Have you ever found yourself overthinking your choices so much that you end up making none? Or maybe you're stuck in denial, convincing yourself that things will magically get better on their own? I know that feeling all too well. It's like being on a treadmill, running and running but going nowhere. Today, I want to share a personal story about how I got out of this phase, what I learned along the way, and some practical steps that helped me find clarity and take action. A few years ago, I hit a major roadblock in life. I had just graduated and was full of dreams, but no clear plan. I wanted to start something big, whether it was pursuing a new skill, starting a project, or taking the next step in my career. But every time I sat down to make a move, I'd get overwhelmed by endless questions. What if I fail? What if this isn't the right choice? What if people judge me? The overthinking was brutal. So instead of acting, I started avoiding. I told myself, I'll figure it out tomorrow. But guess what? Tomorrow never came. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. I was in denial about how much time I was losing, and stuck in a loop of analyzing every possibility without ever making a decision. One day I hit a breaking point. I realized the more I waited for the perfect moment, the further I fell behind. The frustration of staying stuck finally outweighed the fear of failing. That's when I decided to take one small step. And here's the lesson I want you to take away. You don't need to see the entire path. You just need to take the next step. For me, that first step was writing down everything that was overwhelming me. I grabbed a notebook and spilled all my thoughts, fears, and goals onto paper. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. Once I could see my thoughts laid out, I picked one small, actionable goal. I didn't overthink it. I just chose the easiest thing to do. For example, if I wanted to learn a skill, I'd watch a 10-minute tutorial. If I wanted to start a project, I'd brainstorm ideas for 15 minutes. That's it. No pressure, no overthinking, just action. Here's what I learned through this process. You can't think your way to a solution. You have to act. Even if it's a tiny step, it creates momentum. Stop waiting for everything to align perfectly. Progress, even if messy, is more valuable than standing still. Stop worrying about steps 5 or 10 when you haven't even taken step 1. Just focus on what's in front of you. Every small step forward is progress. Celebrate it. It keeps you motivated to take the next step. Instead of fearing failure, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Most of the time, the answer isn't as scary as you think. Taking small steps every day created a ripple effect in my life. What started as 10 minutes of action turned into hours of productivity over weeks and months. Eventually, I started seeing results. But the biggest change wasn't external, it was internal. I realized I wasn't stuck because I lacked ability or resources. I was stuck because I was afraid to move. Once I embraced imperfection and started taking action, the fear began to fade. If you're stuck right now, I want you to try this. Grab a piece of paper and write down one small step you can take today towards something you've been putting off. Don't overthink it. Just write it down. Then do it. Remember, it's not about making a giant leap. It's about making progress, one step at a time. To anyone feeling stuck, let me tell you this. You're not alone and you're not powerless. The only thing standing between you and progress is that first small step. So take it. Start today. Your future self will thank you. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it too. Let's break free from the chains of denial and overthinking together.